Asshole. Welcome back to On Air B&B Football with Bryce and Brandon and Bryce. Thank you for coming back, watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify, whatever you're doing. We appreciate it. Today, we are coming at you with the biggest questions heading into 2024 NFC version. We already hit you with the AFC, and now we're going to smack you with the NFC. But before we get into the video, please go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do us those favors, and let's get into it, Bryce.
Let's go.
So we're going to start off with the NFC West. Obviously, you got the 49ers there. Bryce, what do you got for us?
Debo and Ayuk, staying or leaving?
I think they stay this season. Honestly, it seems like another situation with T. Higgins and the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
I think, they're not happy. They want to get paid. And obviously the team has looked at trading them or getting rid of them, whatever it may be. But I think that they're going to stay there no matter what.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk of Ayuk leaving, a few weeks ago, but that never happened. The draft went on by. So I think he's definitely staying there. I think they want him there. Debo is a little bit more in question, I think, especially going into the season. I think towards the trade deadline in the middle of the season, we could definitely hear some more rumors go up because of his cap hit.
That would also make sense for my prediction of the 49ers falling off. They're not doing good. Maybe get rid of that piece.
Yeah.
And you drafted Ricky Pearsall, and that's another reason
I
might fall on the other side of it too, where you could say either one of them leave because they obviously drafted Pearsall, but also I know if they wait till after June 1st, they save themselves from taking a big cap hit. It's like 13 million, something like that. So they could be very well waiting until then, but it feels like one of those situations where they're just going to wait until next year to do anything, or maybe later in the season.
Yeah,
so,
it's too dynamic right now. I think to split up.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. And plus, it would be good for Pearsall to learn under both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a taste of both of their play styles. But moving on, the Rams. Your boys this year.
Hey, I think they're going to be good.
How they going to look without Aaron Donald, though? Like, I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but like...
That's like the big question, though, is really, that is probably the best defense player in the NFL, possibly the greatest defense player ever in some people's eyes.
Right.
It's going to be a completely different defense. The offense definitely picked it up, especially towards the end of the season, and I think it got even better. Kupp has to stay healthy. Puka is amazing. Added Blake Corum, which I know you're not huge on, but that is a great running back piece to add to that already stacked offense.
Good depth.
Yeah,
piece.
For sure. Especially if something would happen to Kyron, you have a great solid running back to fill in.
Right. I got you.
So I think that offense is going to look amazing. The defense is going to let up some points, going to let up a lot of yards. Defense isn't what's important to this Rams team. It's that offense, and they're going to be really good.
At least now, and that's so obviously me being a Chiefs fan, one of the things I'd like to compare it to of what I feel like is going to be this year is the 2018 Chiefs, where we just had no defense and it was all offense, and we had all those great pieces. Well, the Rams look exactly the same way this year.
Yeah.
They have Puka Nacua, and he's aging, but Cooper Kupp. They got Higbee, who they re-signed. They went and signed Colby Parkinson, and then they have great running backs, and Stafford's still there. So definitely not counting out the offense and not counting out the Rams team at all.
Yeah.
I'm not on the same level as you where I think they're going to just dominate that division. But moving on, Arizona Cardinals.
Your boys in Arizona.
Hey, this is the division this year.
It's a great division. It's getting good. It's not just the 49ers.
Hey, we're both AFC fans. We got to have our NFC team, So Cardinals are my NFC team this year. The team I believe in. Kyler's fully healthy, and he likes throwing to Trey McBride. They got Marvin Harrison, who is a great rookie who's just going to be thrown into all those missing targets, and they actually added Zay Jones. So I really like that. It's a great piece to add when you have Michael Wilson. James Conner's going to be there. He's still really good. He's going to miss some games, and then that's why they went out and got Trey Benson. I mean, what else is there? I mean, are they contenders in your eyes? I know that you don't think that they're necessarily the best in the division, but could they be contenders?
They could definitely win games. I've been looking more at their roster, and they could win games and possibly sneak in as a wild card, but I don't really see it happening because of the 49ers and the Rams. They're too good. I'm not on board, but they could definitely win some games. And I like Trey Benson going there too. So that offense could look really good. It could be kind of like the Rams. That offense
But
could
they have a
be
little bit better of
explosive.
a defense.
They do have a little bit better of a defense, but it is a very young, very kind of inexperienced defense. So I think their defense is going to take a little bit of time to grow, which towards the end of the season it could.
Right.
But, I still like the Rams and the 49ers a little bit better than the Cardinals. I think they just miss out on the playoffs.
So, I mean, I basically, in my opinion, you can swap the Niners and the Cardinals. I just feel like, in order, in my opinion, it's Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks. And that leads us right into the Seahawks. Is Geno even enough? I mean, he had great play 2 years ago with Canales, but he didn't look like anything special last year. He's not going to get the job done. Do they move on to Sam Howell? What are they going to do?
Geno's enough to win them games, but like I said, that division is tough, especially if the Cardinals are going to emerge.
Right.
The Seahawks will win some games, possibly be with the Cardinals in kind of like a wild card chase, but I don't think Geno's enough to win them games. It's another question like, will they regret maybe drafting one of these quarterbacks in this year's draft also, like, and moving up to get one of those guys? Because if you want to win games, I mean, shouldn't you maybe move on from Geno at some point?
Well, I mean, you could also make the argument they brought in Sam Howell, who he had
Yeah.
times last year where he looked good.
He threw the ball a lot.
He could even. I think you could argue that last year he had a better season than Geno did. So you put and you can't have a worse line than the Commanders had last year.
That's true.
That was terrible. So either way, you're doing a lateral move for the Seahawks, which you're throwing to DK, Lockett, and JSN instead of Terry McLaurin and then, Jahan Dotson and Diami Brown, whoever it is, but you got a whole new set of weapons there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better than where he was before. I think
Yeah.
you put Sam Howell in, they do a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely think we could see how, if Geno struggles and they are struggling to win games, early in the season, maybe mid-season, I definitely think we could see how, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'd like to see it just because Geno has showed consistency, but it's average consistency.
Yeah.
So that'll take us over to the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Are they back to being a Super Bowl contender?
No.
Adding Saquon?
No.
Did lose Kelsey. Are they back?
No.
I think the roster is good. I think it's a good roster.
It's a decent roster.
They did good. They had a good draft.
They always have a good draft. What they do with it last 2 years? Last 3 years.
They won games.
Did they
Super Bowl? 2 years ago, they got to the Super Bowl.
Did they win it?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's a good team. I mean, Sirianni might have to go for this team to emerge.
But the thing that I like best that they did in the offseason was added Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, because that's what they lacked in a lot last year. And that's how I see them being a lot better this year than they were last year when they fell off and disappeared. But like I was telling you in the past couple videos, I personally feel like as long as Sirianni's there, they're not going to be – I don't think they get back to the Super Bowl as long as Sirianni's there. He just acts too much out of character for what a coach should be.
Well, do you think Kellen Moore and Fangio are going to be able to run their offense and defense with Sirianni there? Like, do you think Sirianni's going to affect how they kind of call the games and kind of how the team runs?
You saw it 2 years ago when they had Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you saw they went to the Super Bowl when those guys were there. You have a good OC, good DC.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're looking at with Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. So it's possible. I wonder if Sirianni already did a little bit too much damage to that locker room without and you're without Kelsey now. You lost Hassan Reddick. You lost a lot of defensive pieces.
Yeah, they did lose a lot.
Sure, you brought in Saquon, which I love that move. I love Saquon, and I hope he does great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no hate for the Eagles. It's just Sirianni. I can't stand the guy, and not as just a Chiefs fan. Anybody who watches Sirianni in the games, you can't be a fan of him.
He has his little temper tantrum.
A little temper tantrum. It's comical. So We'll see. We'll see. But I just think Kelsey was a big piece of that offense. Tush push doesn't work as well. They're gonna win the division. It's just I don't see them doing anything with it.
Yeah, I feel like they have a Super Bowl roster. It's just how well does it? Because you saw how they fell off last year. Like, is that kind of like could that repeat this year possibly if they don't get it under control? If Sirianni doesn't get his team under control,
It very well could.
Yeah.
We just gotta wait to see it play out. But
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys,
them boys
did
nothing.
nothing. They have
Did
Rico
absolutely nothing.
Dowdle. They added Zeke back.
Wow.
Zeke could be a good change of pace back for Rico Dowdle. He could be somebody to learn from for Rico.
Well, Dallas needs to get back to that two-back system that they had with Pollard and Zeke.
I think that's what they're hoping.
It's not Zeke isn't the same as he was during that time.
Well,
I don't think,
and Dowdle's nowhere close to Pollard.
Yeah, and that offensive line isn't as good as it used to be. It's older. It's they lost a bunch of guys on the offensive line that they had when Zeke was there. But I mean, Dallas always has a decent offensive line to run behind. It's just is Zeke gonna do anything with that? Probably not. I mean, and they did nothing really in the offseason to improve that team.
They got rid of Michael Gallup, and now Brandon Cooks is the number 2, which I think he'll be a better number 2 than Michael Gallup was.
Yeah, Cooks didn't get enough targets.
Right. You give him more targets. Cooks has never been anything but consistent.
He always has been consistent. And last year, we just kind of was nothing.
Regardless of being on 5 different teams, he's
always been consistent.
So,
yeah.
And they pretty much kept the defense together. Lost their DC. It's just a matter of, is Mike McCarthy really the guy to lead that team?
I think it's his last season.
I do too.
This is a make or break year for Dallas. It's his last year of the deal.
He'll
be gone.
Yeah, I think
Belichick's coming in to take over in Dallas.
I wouldn't mind.
It could happen,
but
we'll see. I don't know if Jerry Jones would want to hand the reins to Belichick.
Jerry Jones will do whatever it takes to get a Super Bowl at this point. He's desperate.
I don't think he will, though.
I think he will. I really do. I don't know. You just gotta hope that he doesn't let his feelings take over and hiring his friend Mike McCarthy. But that'll take us over to the New York Giants. Somebody I'm fond of, I would say.
Daniel Jones.
It's not Daniel Jones. It's Brian Daboll. I love Daboll.
You like them both.
I want to like Daniel Jones. I want to like him so bad. He has so much potential, and if anybody's gonna pull it out of him while he's healthy, it's Brian Daboll. And that's why I say don't count out the Giants now that they have Malik Neighbors, an elite number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I like that they went and got a number 1 for Daniel Jones.
I'll be honest, I was really high on Odunze as opposed to Neighbors before the draft, and even a little bit after the draft. But now we're 2-3 weeks out from it, and I'm kind of leaning more on the Neighbors side than I am Odunze, and it's not just because of Odunze being the either number 2 or number 3, but it's the more of the fact that Neighbors is the number 1 there.
Yeah, he'll go in and be number 1. And this brings us to the question: Will Malik Neighbors make Daniel Jones the franchise quarterback that the Giants drafted him for?
I hope so. I really hope so.
They finally go and grab a number 1 receiver,
right?
And early in the draft, a top guy like.
That's what they've been needing to do instead of worrying about maybe drafting another quarterback.
They just drafted straight.
I
mean, they drafted the offensive line, which they've done.
Right, but not very good.
Not very well, but you had to get a guy for him to throw the ball.
Exactly. You can't just expect him to throw to the same old guys who've been there forever.
And haven't been consistent, shown they are not going to be the guy. You got to go get someone.
They did the smart thing in the draft, drafted Neighbors, and that might take them to second place. The Washington Commanders.
Minders, baby.
They got a whole new coaching staff. Cliff Kingsbury, you saw what he did in Arizona. If I were the Commanders, I don't know if I would be really happy because, you've got the same sort of quarterback in Jaden Daniels that you had and Kyler Murray with the same OC now in Cliff Kingsbury, but you got some running backs there. You have Austin Eckler, you got Brian Robinson. I like them.
I like that running back tandem. I really do. It's a change of pace.
Right.
You need that change of pace.
Not for fantasy, but I'd like it's a running back room I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think it could be really good.
Yeah, and Terry McLaurin, he's nothing. Excuse me. He's no slouch.
No,
and
he's a receiver.
you saw Jaden Daniels support a second receiver in the LSU offense,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that Dotson could come back to at least 80% of what he was his rookie year, and I'm excited for that. I like Dotson. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you do too, Penn
Yeah.
State boy, but
He's got to stay healthy. He
Right.
just was on and off the field last year, but when he was scoring touchdowns.
Right.
Almost every time he was on the field. So yeah, it's an interesting offense. Could be a good offense. It all rides on Jaden Daniels and what he can do.
Right. It was a lot of mediocre signings, you felt like, in the offseason. But when you look at the team as a whole right now, it seems like they're all right. It's not like you're counting them out completely anymore.
No, it's a whole new coaching staff, whole new roster.
Right.
It's can they compete in the East? I think they can, for sure. I think
the East isn't as strong as strong of a division as it seems.
Yeah, so Eagles are on top right now, but I definitely think if everything goes right, like if everything goes right for the Giants like it's supposed to, if everything goes right for the Commanders, I think that whole division can compete.
Right. There's a path for all of them.
Yeah, like
it might be a little bit difficult of a path.
Yeah,
but
if everything can go right for these teams, like
it's there.
it is for sure. Like they can take over. Like the Eagles are the top team. I know the Cowboys won it last year,
Barely, yes.
but I definitely think the Eagles are a better team. And I definitely think that the Eagles are on top, but I think all these teams could definitely overtake them if like I said,
everything goes right.
Everything goes right.
You got it.
For sure.
I like exactly what you said. That's perfect. Go ahead and move on to the NFC North. Packers, my Super Bowl pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say the question of the day is, is Jordan Love going to be the same guy that he was at the end of last year?
Mm-hmm.
We saw him really develop over the course of last year. He had some spotty games here and there, and then
you start off good, kind of went and everybody's questioning him,
and then he's good at the end, and it's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
but I like Jordan Love. You see a lot of Rodgers mixed in with a little bit of Favre, I would even say.
Yeah, he's got like the Rodgers touch, but like the Favre gunslinger kind of.
And a little bit of the recklessness
too.
But their offense, it's at least a lateral move with Josh Jacobs, if you ask me, from Aaron Jones to him.
I think Josh Jacobs is more. You can feed Josh Jacobs a little bit more than.
Yeah, you probably could, especially with Aaron Jones'
but I don't
problems.
think you need to, though.
The soft tissue issues with Aaron Jones, but they got rid of their DC, who they really needed to, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the Packers. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's a fun
team
to
offense. Yeah, I like Matt LaFleur. I'm rooting for him, but I'm also rooting for the Detroit Lions too. It's not my pick, but it's yours.
Mine.
So, Detroit Lions, bite your kneecap, Campbell Lions. Are they gonna take the same risk that they did last year? Are they gonna work out if they do? I mean, are they going to be able to get back to the same place that they were at, or is it just going to be like an upset season now that people finally expect something out of them?
Yeah, those risks hurt them in the NFC Championship game. Do they look at that and say, "Are we still going to do that?" But that's what got them there.
I think they should.
They should
just be a little bit smarter with it.
They should look at like the situation. They need to look at the situation more. Like, is it? Do we need this right now, or can we be a little bit safer and kick the field goal and tie the game up? I think definitely during the season, they'll take more risks. But I think later in the season, I think they should maybe dial it back just a little bit, just to kind of play it a little bit smarter, because that division could be tougher this year.
It could also go completely opposite of what we think, and just got to battle the Packers
or the Bears.
Like I said, or you could just battle the Packers. The Bears, your other NFC boys, Caleb Williams, are they going to be as good as Bryce is thinking, is the question.
Yes.
Because Bryce thinks that Caleb Williams was made in heaven. And
I don't think he was made in heaven. I think he's just going to be good. Listen, I'm not all with his antics and all that stuff and whatever, but he's a good football player. He's probably one of the best that we've seen in a while.
Made in heaven.
He's not made in heaven, right?
Technically, he is.
I mean, all right.
But
anyway, I think that Bears team they built. I think that Bears team could make the playoffs with Justin Fields back there. But I think
they'd be better off with Justin Fields.
I think Caleb Williams is going to be a better. I'm not going to say he's going to be a better player, because I want Justin Fields to be a better player in Pittsburgh, of course. But I think Caleb Williams is definitely good enough to take that Bears team to the playoffs.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I don't think that Justin Fields is better than Caleb Williams. I just think he will be better this year because rookie quarterbacks are not that great in the NFL. CJ Stroud was not a normal thing to happen. So I think the Bears can get, I say, a ceiling of 9 wins and a floor of 6 wins, probably.
17-0. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say.
No, I think they'll.
But-
I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win 10 games. They're gonna go 10-7, sneaking into the playoffs. I still have the Lions
I
winning
think
that division.
I had them winning 8 or 7.
Yeah,
one of the
Lions.
two.
I think are winning that division. Lions are just so good, but I think the Bears can sneak in. I think the Bears could beat the Lions in the game. I think they could.
I
Split
think
it.
they will.
I think they could definitely split it. I think they could split with the Packers and split with the Lions.
I don't think they'll split with the Packers, but
I think
they
they
will split
beat
with
the
Lions.
Vikings.
And I think the Vikings could split too, which is what takes us to the Vikings. Sam Darnold, is he going to be a starter? Is J.J. McCarthy going to be there? Could they be a sneaky team in the North? Like you said, I think you go back to the argument you made in the East, right?
Yeah.
With the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cowboys even taking over the Eagles in that division if everything goes right. I think if everything goes right for the Vikings, they got every weapon possible they need there.
For J.J. McCarthy, it's a great situation for a rookie quarterback. It's probably, if you look at it, besides maybe Caleb Williams,
it's easily the best rookie spot.
It is for sure. Like you have probably the best the
best weapons. You got a decent O-line.
You say the best receiver in football. A lot of people would say.
I would.
Like, it's a great offense for a rookie quarterback to go into. Will J.J. McCarthy use it, or will he be starting? We don't know. But they could be a sneaky team. That defense isn't there at all, I don't think. The defense lost a lot of pieces.
I would just really like to see Sam Darnold in that offense. Give him a few weeks. Just see if he does okay. He's never had weapons.
I think you should start with Sam Darnold for the year.
He's never had weapons like this, and plus it gives you time to let J.J. McCarthy learn behind a veteran of Sam Darnold, but it gives him time to learn the offense, learn the quarterback position in the NFL, and see if he can really adapt and throw 35-plus passes a game. And, I think it could change the trajectory of his career if you just
I think
give him till at least Thanksgiving behind Darnold.
Yeah. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy's still a little bit raw. Like, he's got the athleticism, but, like you were saying, like, at Michigan, he wasn't asked to throw the ball a lot. Like, he was asked to – I'm not trying to say this in a, bad way, but, I mean, he was asked to hand the ball off, basically.
He was asked to manage the game.
Manage the game and let the defense play and run the ball.
Right.
Like, that's what he did at Michigan. He has the talent and the athleticism and the upside, but it's just, can he throw the ball like an NFL quarterback?
Hey, that's literally the question. But I don't know. I guess we'll just wait it out and see. I hope he's better than Caleb Williams as his rookie year. I would just like to see that. We got plenty of time to hate. But the NFC South.
I think it's overlooked a little. NFC South's a little overlooked division, I think.
Overlooked or overrated?
I'm not going to say overrated, but I mean, no one's really talking about it.
Not division.
No one talks about the South.
The Falcons are overrated. But that's not the question I want to ask. I want to ask, when do we see Michael Penix?
I think that's what everybody's asking. You're not going to see him this year unless Kirk goes down.
We'll see. I've drafted him in all my dynasty leagues, so I would like to see him.
They drafted him 8th overall, so you want to see him soon. Like, he's not waiting for 4 or 5 years.
He looks so good at camp.
He does look really good. I mean, he's just throwing to, wide open receivers, but his ball, I've watched all the quarterbacks through camp. His ball looks the best. It did in college.
It feels like I'm Colin Coward talking right now. He's got a beautiful ball. He really does. I mean, it looks good.
It's great. It's
good. It's on a rope every time. It's like Mike Vick. I mean, it's them lefties. That's exactly what you see.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. But I mean, I think we could see him if Kirk plays all this year.
I just want to make it clear. I love Kirk Cousins. I hope that Kirk succeeds. And I hope that he does it for a year or two and then leaves because I want to see Penix.
I think we could see Penix next year, possibly. Because, look, if Kirk has that giant deal, right, another team is going to want Kirk, a proven guy. He's going to be wanted by someone. you see Michael Penix, see what he can do. You start Michael Penix next year, right? You have him on that rookie deal. You can build so much more with that money that Kirk has. Like, so you can build that defense up more. You can build, a line for Michael Penix. You can build even more weapons for Michael Penix.
Right.
So I think if kind of the Falcons are smart now, I don't think it was a smart move by the Falcons to take Michael Penix. But if they like him that much, give Kirk maybe a year, see what he does. It doesn't do great. Go start Michael Penix next year. Move off the Kirk deal. Get that money. Use it.
Yeah. I mean, I like both of the quarterbacks there. I have had Kirk become one of my favorites to watch. He's a great dude, so I'm hoping that he succeeds. But
You like that?
Hmm?
You like that?
You like that?
Like that.
But
you like that Michael Penix getting drafted at 8?
No, I don't like that. Is Drake London being overrated right now because of the quarterbacks there? Kirk Cousins supplied Justin Jefferson with plenty of targets in that offense. He supplied Hawkinson or Pitts in this situation with all those targets. So are those weapons being looked at too highly because of Kirk being there?
Yeah, possibly. But, we're going to have to see come this fall.
Right. Yeah.
Panthers.
Carolina boy. Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm Xavier Legette.
Jeez.
But Xavier Legette being drafted to the Panthers. Is Bryce Young going to be better in year 2, though?
I think so. He has more weapons now. Deontay got traded there. I think he'll be his number 1. Has Thielen at the slot. I don't think Legette is going to get his. I think he'll. Well,
I think he gets more.
I think he'll get more. Yeah, I think he will, because they kind of need like a solid number 2 guy, and they drafted him at 32, so I think he'll get out there. You're not going to know what he's saying.
Thielen, Deontay,
it's a good receiving core.
It's a decent receiving core. They got a decent running back room. Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders if you need to.
Yeah.
They got a decent defense. But the piece that I pay attention to, like I've stated 1,000 times, is Dave Canales. If there's anybody that's going to make Bryce Young better in his second year, it's Dave Canales.
No.
You're right. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the Panthers. I'm hoping that they do good. I don't know. I just need the Buccaneers to win the division because I have a bet on it, which I wish I didn't place at this point. But we'll talk about the Buccaneers right now.
You're a Falcons guy now, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
You're a Falcons guy.
I'm not. I don't know.
I
don't know who I want to win the division or who I think will win the division, but I want the Panthers to win the division.
That would be funny. I kind of turned on the Falcons when they took Penix, but I kind of just want Penix to play now.
Right.
For the Falcons. But anyway, to the Bucks.
The Buccaneers, again, they lose Canales. And the Buccaneers win the South again. Without Canales, they got all the same pieces there. Lost some defensive pieces, but, you keep the Baker and Evans duo together. I think it's possible. I don't know. I mean, there's so much hype around the Falcons. Maybe my head's getting a little cloudy now. But
yeah, Falcons are definitely the favorite now, but I think the Bucks can. Everything's got to go right for them. That offense is still there. That running game is awful. That's got to be improved for sure. The defense has aged, and none of those same guys are there from that Super Bowl run. It's kind of like a younger, inexperienced defense now. So I don't really like the Bucks to win the division. They could, if everything goes right. That offense has to be. The offense kind of has to be kind of like the Rams. They gotta put up points like the Rams, which I don't think they will, based on they're not the Rams and they're not as good as the Rams, but they could win that division. It's one of the weaker divisions in football still. I feel like.
Yeah, it's probably the weakest. But
yeah.
That leads us to the weakest team in that division, the New Orleans Saints. Are they though? Because I think the only piece that they're missing is a quarterback because Derek Carr stinks.
You just hate him from your Raider days.
No, I liked him being there. He threw us plenty of picks. But do we see Spencer Rattler anytime soon? I personally feel like we're not going to see him until Derek Carr's contract is up.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm
a fan of Rattler.
If Carr's awful, maybe. go send Rattler out there to sling it.
It could happen because of the coach. Dennis Allen has
He-
no idea what he's doing.
No,
so
I think he's going to be gone too. Either midway through the season or end of the season.
I
He'll
agree.
definitely be gone. You saw he doesn't have control of the team.
Right.
You know, when during last season when Jameis, you know, got, when Jameis Winston took over the offense and they scored a touchdown with like a few seconds left, you know, they told him to knee it and he didn't. Like, you got to have control of your guys on the field. So he doesn't have that. Their car, you know, isn't.
An aging Kamara too.
Yeah, an aging. Yeah, he's aging. You got to see how he looks this year. Olave looks good, but you got to have someone to get him the ball. Which Derek Carr will get him the ball. He'll feed his number one guy. But is it enough to win the South? They could have won it last year. I just don't see that.
That division was up for grabs for anybody last year. You had to compete with Ritter, and
it could be this year too. But
it could be, but I don't think it is for the Saints.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
We are in agreement on that. But that wraps it up for us today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. YouTube, Spotify, whatever you're doing. That was our biggest questions for the NFC teams heading into the 2024 season. Please help us reach our goal of talking to you, the fans, the players, and the coaches. We want to be able to bring you better content and have fun while doing it, but we can't do it without you guys. So go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with everybody you know whether they like football or not, because that really helps us out. But also turn on that notification bell so you can see us in future videos. And we appreciate you for everything. Deuces.